in a little while and restock up because God knows I won't be able to get toilet paper.
Yeah, or hand sanitizer.
I know. I don't even fucking like using hand sanitizer. My hands dry the fuck out and start cracking.
Oh, I know. I
Then
know.
I have open sores and I'm going to get a different fucking virus.
Um, yeah, a lot of germs out there. Constantly fighting off germs. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, step right up. Welcome to another episode of the Goonery. Got a blogger of the Goonery, Mr. Nick Nack, is back.
How's it going, everybody?
What's up, man?
Oh, living the dream.
I know that's everyone always fucking says
Yeah,
that.
it's a loaded question.
I know everyone responds. It's way different than Spanish class when you were just taught like "Que pasa, bien," and everyone was like happy to like answer that question. But you say that like in present day, cities here in the States, it's like same shit, different day, living the dream. Just a bunch of like that's a loaded
Yeah.
question. Like I've heard those are like
How's
the top
life?
three
It's like, how's life? It's taking too goddamn long.
Yeah. So,
But those
but
are
that
the
was one of
times we
the
live in.
inspirations for the Goonery. Either A, like maybe help that alleviate some of that pain, or yeah, just need a career change altogether. But yeah, we did our little draft there. That was look out, guys, for this is the first episode to promote the coronavirus. I had a good alliteration for it. It was the celeb coronavirus contraction prop bet pool.
I like that. That's funny.
Just clowning around here. But yeah, I am tired of talking about the coronavirus. I don't think anyone wants to hear it. We
Yeah,
should
it's
move on to some more,
exhausting.
yeah, some different topics. I don't know. Do you listen to Joe Rogan?
I do not as much as I'd like because I do like Joe Rogan a lot.
Yeah, same. Also, some of his stuff is a little repetitive, so I kind of pick and
Yeah, it
choose my
is.
episodes now. I'm not like a regular. With that being said, which ones would you say stand out to you, either guests or topics?
I always think his drug topics are pretty crazy and out there, but it's like he I don't know, I can't really disagree with a lot of it. Like,
When
you
he's like defending marijuana or like getting like the mushroom guy on to talk about psilocybin.
that stuff is cool too because he gives you kind of a from a science perspective. But I just think like when he advocates, various drugs, like he always says like everybody should do DMT once in a while in their life. I don't know if that's a good idea. I don't think everybody can handle that, but
I know, I agree. I like with both of you, like everyone should do it, and everyone should also like be very aware that your reality is going to shift,
right.
which can be dangerous. I like to refer to that as what people say by have a bad trip. Like give
Yeah,
that more meaning. What do you mean I'm gonna have a bad trip? Like things aren't gonna make
you'll
sense
find
like they
out.
normally do. Yeah. I remember we tried to play like pool on acid once, and everything did not like the rules like didn't make sense. It was
Oh yeah, I've had to leave few events because of mushrooms. It's all about your environment, and they were damn good shows too. And I just could not handle the crowd. It was just too much.
yeah. Yeah, I did that recently. Not too much recently, but I think we went to like a rap hip hop night at the Nectar Lounge in Fremont, Seattle, and taking a couple shrooms. Buddy of mine's cousin was in town. I asked him, he got free tickets. My buddy's always getting free shit. So yeah, I'll go. But I asked if I should bring anything, and he's like, "Oh, my cousin loves mushrooms." So I had to get a sack of those. Got them cheap. They were like $20 for an eighth.
Oh wow.
Yeah. They were big boys. His cousin loved them for that matter. He was like, "Whoa!" He was just so excited that I had brought those. Like, he was like a lifer on, which is a little too much for me. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoy like a come back to reality type of thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm like, oh, reality where things make sense again.
Yeah, it's like a
that kind of
once-a-year
shit.
thing.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a good time. Sounds similar. He he went crazy. He was just like talking. They had seen Jim Jeffries the night before.
Oh man.
And he's like just talking in his Jim Jeffries like best Australian accent or New Zealand or wherever he's from, and it was the funniest fucking shit, dude. So like that was like a moment where mushrooms just make things like giggly or funny.
Oh yeah.
When they work the way you want them to.
Oh yeah. I will say every single time I take hallucinogens, there's always at least a point or multiple points during the trip where I think I shit my pants.
Oh.
But I always think it.
Yeah, that happened to me once on like I only had one bad trip, and yeah, that was part of that bad trip. Thought I had to like pee, but I like couldn't pee. Yeah. Yeah, you guys smell shit. I think Sean Deming was like sleeping in my bed, and I was so angry he wouldn't leave, and I was like too like weak to like do anything about it.
Also, I don't know if you heard, did you see I guess California is throwing around the idea of legalizing mushrooms.
Fuck yeah, dude. They should.
Yeah, maybe though. Maybe not in that state. Those people are.
Well, just because it's illegal doesn't mean you should do it. Like,
Well, yeah, that's
you
true.
should give people more credit. I guess you can't,
That's true.
but
Yeah,
that's why the Goonery is a thing. But yeah, you think it should be not legal to do mushrooms?
no, I think it should be. I guess
It should be illegal to like do mushrooms and drive a car.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with taking a stroll through the park.
Yeah, just a bunch of people that get like whacked out of their minds. It's so funny. But yeah, the microdosing, I think that was like that's a big bipartisan word for legalizing shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
People like the idea of microdosing, like, oh, well, if you take it in small amounts, you don't lose grip on reality. It's like having a couple drinks, not too many. Yeah, I'm microdosing this beer. It's a little stronger in content, but I drink less of them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've always thought like it's just real radical. Like, might as well make most drugs legal, except for maybe.
Right.
Well, honestly, like if you do go that route, if all drugs were legal, like I feel like it'd be a much safer world than drugs are illegal world, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, yeah, because then you kind of take the power away from the black market.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still going to have the black market, but they have less of a influence.
Question is calling it the black market. That sounds racist. Maybe we should think of a new name for the black market.
The underground market.
Yeah, a politically correct term for isn't there actually some no, the black market, the dark web.
Hmm.
I don't know. Disney always like associated like evil with like black and white.
Yeah,
They caught some shit for that.
yeah, that's well. I mean, Walt did.
Like Jafar and Scar, they're all like dark
Yeah, yeah.
and like that was a thing. But then, you know, there's I don't know. Anyway, it's the dark it's the what do we call it? The underground market.
Yeah.
Um have you seen the underground market, or like how do you access it?
I have not. I've had people explain it to me and it just sounds way too complicated and easier for me to just call somebody on my phone.
What do they say you have to do? Like know
There
someone
you
or get like a software or something?
Yeah, you have to go to like a certain website and like create an account and log in and like it takes you to like another form of the internet and it just seems like too much of a fucking hassle.
Yeah, not very convenient. Um
No. I want my drugs and I want them now.
yeah, honestly, well, I mean, getting back to that point, like the safer world being with drugs than without. I don't know if you heard that. Um, I mean, yeah, it'd be so much more in like the government control to like sell not tainted products. So that's different.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
you would make so much on the taxation of it.
Yeah.
Um, you would eliminate that underground market from existing and the violence that goes with that.
Yep, exactly. The trap,
Um,
all the, everything really. It's a whole web of, negative things that
yeah.
unintended consequences when you make things illegal.
Yeah, I feel like we're making like more long-term decisions as like society, and I don't know, it should get interesting. I always fear the like with global warming,
Yeah.
like our new, we are pretty safe from like other countries, like more or less, but like what are the real threats that are out there? And yeah, the idea of like heating up the planet to like a Venus like situation or something that
Yeah.
would make it hard to live comfortably like we have been. And there's like so much data and evidence that supports that of like
hmm
going to be a
But then the
thing.
thing is, it's like, we've, I feel like the United States has done an okay job of, trying to, go more green and protect the environment. I know Europe is doing a lot of that stuff, but it's like if everybody isn't on board, it's useless.
Exactly. And the
It's
people that are,
it's like we can have all the electric cars in the world, but China is literally covered in smog that's destroying the ozone layer. So it's like our efforts are futile.
seriously, no, it's a huge point. And that brings it back to like, yeah, you look at China and India, and they're in a growing economy, so fossil fuels are cheap and have all the momentum, and they're going to rely on that to survive comfortably and grow and
Right.
follow that lifestyle. And you can't blame them. That's what we did. Um,
Right.
but there's just so much more of them. Like it's like on a multiplier. It's
Yeah.
it's bigger than our efforts would, Um, so then it's like, when do you like make that decision where the data so strongly supports that like we can't allow this to happen? Like that's what I feel like the next like big thing will be, when we're just like we can't like let our world like kill itself basically. So like if we have to intervene, or that whole conflict.
Right. And then there's always going to be people that say, well, it's not your right to intervene. And, who
Yeah.
tell them how to, how to handle their environment. And it's like, well, their environment isn't going to be there if they continue that trend.
Yeah, it's like the philosopher, right? Is it Kant?
I believe, yeah, I think so. A
A
lot of growing up to
lot of
do.
growing up to do.
It's like he was the greater good theory, right?
Right, like would you
Yeah.
revert a train that's going to kill one person or multiple people to kill one person to save more lives, like that?
Right.
That's like the first thing you learn in like philosophy 101.
Yep. Yeah, it's a tough it's a tough question to answer.
Well, and we can't fucking talk about it without like hating a person for being on one side of the fence or the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, just throwing out that depressing prediction.
Well, and even like I was just thinking about that on like a local level. Do you guys in Washington? Do you guys do emissions testing on your vehicles?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
imagine they're
it's
pretty
more
strict.
frequently, and our car tabs are expensive too. Like there's a big tax on like vehicles.
Yeah, ours just went up too. I think it's
Yeah.
$150 a year now.
Yeah, so maybe that's why we don't want drugs to be legal, so people's minds aren't, all warped and we make poor decisions.
Yeah, that's true.
It's tough. Um, what do you predict the outcome will be? Do you think we're just gonna burn ourselves up with global warming, or do you think we figure it out? And what does that look like?
I I have a hard time believing that we do figure it out because I mean, like we were saying, if everybody's not on board, you're fighting a losing battle. And there, like you said, there's countries that are just starting their industrial revolution that are going to be like, hey, fuck you. You guys went through this hundreds of years ago, and look at where you're at. We're coming from a third world, trying to be where you're telling us not to do what you did. So it's hard to argue against them, but at the same time, it's like, well, yeah, but you could also learn from our mistakes too.
Yeah. Right. So we're basically gonna have to do a hell of a job negotiating to get them to comply, and
Right.
it's a pretty big ask. I feel like
Yeah,
the leverage
especially
is on
'cause
them,
yeah, exactly.
especially China, who we're so trade dependent with. That's an interesting
Exactly.
one.
Yeah, it's a volatile economic situation because it's like, they really have the firepower to really fuck us over if they really wanted to. I mean, it goes both ways, but what comes around, and so to speak.
Yeah, I love those sayings. What goes around comes around. Oh man. Yeah, I don't even what yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's depressing to talk about. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Everyone being so dependent on these economies is such a crazy thing that life was good for the last decade or so, and looks like we might be entering a recession here, and it's going to make reality hit a little bit different.
Oh yeah.
You know, no more clear and brown whiskey, or not whiskey, just booze. Just gonna have to get one or the other. Gonna have to make some tough decisions.
Yeah, I know.
Uh, yeah, I feel like this economy is gonna go to the shitter.
Yeah.
That's
There, yeah.
another thing too. Like this is such a depressing episode. Oh my goodness. Fuck.
Sorry, everybody.
All the boomers trying to retire right now,
Oh God, yeah.
and then the stock market like fucking up.
Oh, and it's hard for me to feel bad for them though, because it's like you and I are gonna have to work until the day they fucking put us in the ground. So it's like, God,
I know. Our
for an extra
generation.
10 years. Our generation's fucked, and our kids' generation is double fucked.
Yeah, it's like a pyramid scheme, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in the school system, right? Like, you have one professor and 20, 30 students, and it just keeps like multiplying like that at like an exponential
Hmm.
rate.
And then, our generation is having less children than the generations before because of how much bullshit is going on in this world. So that's less people to pay taxes when we get older, less people to pay into Social Security, less, you know.
How do you think that's going to pan out? Because I agree.
I, I go back and forth. If you asked me a year ago, I would have said I think Social Security will probably level itself out. There's always an up and down. It's always just kind of a wave that we have to ride. But now it's like it's pretty alarming how our parents' generation is having to work longer than their parents' generation. Our generation is going to have to work longer than our parents' generation. So it's like,
Well, now they're coming out with like revival drugs and surgeries to like keep us alive longer too.
yeah,
Don't want
we can work
to
more.
stay around long. Yeah, I don't want to keep working. Oh man. Yeah, so that anyway, this transitions into like, again with no sports, nothing to talk about. We have to focus on the entertainment aspect of the Goonery. Yeah, I was hoping to find like, I don't know, people that are intelligent about these topics and hear what they have to say, because obviously I'm not here giving advice, or I'm just observing, and I always think you have funny opinions, also like real ones that are, that should be heard. It's a platform.
Yeah, we try. We try. Well, I mean, if we're going along entertainment to try to lighten up this episode, I mean, shit, we got all the time in the world to be entertained now. We don't have sports, but plenty of movies and television shows going on right now that I'm sure we're gonna watch a lot of.
Oh man, what was that one, Dave on FX?
Oh yeah, Dave with Little Dicky, so funny, man.
Is it like the Little Dicky story,
Yeah, it's like loosely based on his life. It's like
like a
you don't really know.
satire of his life?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But and there are like real rappers in the show though that
Yeah. Oh,
yeah,
that sounds good.
it's
Hope
pretty
it's
good.
on
It's funny.
Hulu. Yeah.
I believe it probably is.
I don't know. Yeah, Fox is on there, so FX. Um, it was a good year for movies last year.
Yeah, it was definitely.
We'll see. This year, a bunch of shit's getting postponed.
Yeah, I know. We do have I think what is it, May or June? We've got Bill and Ted 3.
Ooh,
That one I'm looking forward to.
I'm gonna have to actually go out and like play more golf now, or like go
Yeah, I just went to
spread.
Top Golf on
Yeah,
Sunday. That was pretty sweet.
right on. That's a good time. I did that once in Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fucking love golf. I'm not good at it, but I'm also not terrible.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, just middle of the road. It's something
Yeah,
it's
but sometimes it falls apart bad, and I hate those days, dude.
yeah, it
I'm
has the
like
ability
not.
to either be really relaxing or you want to fucking murder someone.
Oh my god, I know. It's so fun though to just get outside and
Yeah.
smoke some tobacco product or whatever, or vape. Actually, I think you and I quit the tobacco, right?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
I'll smoke a cigar once in a while,
Okay. I
but
gotta
not.
I
not
got
often.
a Cubano down in Cabo recently.
Oh, nice. But it was delicious.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I didn't have a cigar cutter, so that
Oh, you
kind
just
of,
bite it off.
yeah, I did that, but it felt like kind of didn't work too well. Fair. Oh man. Um, yeah. Anything else funny or immature?
Always.
No. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You got a finger to pull.
um. Yeah. Shit. I mean, it's like right now it's tough. People aren't really going out and doing stuff because you can't. So it's a lot of hours on social media, right? Like we said, watching TV,
Ugh. Yeah, like the two most toxic
drinking.
things. Yeah. Yeah. Quarantine and chill is a dangerous thing. We've
Yeah.
already been quarantining and chilling. This is like to a new extreme. What
Yeah.
little going out we did is now going to cease.
Yeah. Exactly.
Um, huh. Any other Joe Rogan episodes stand out to you besides the?
Oh, I haven't listened in a long time.
Yeah,
Real far behind. I actually should get back into it. I used to listen to a lot of podcasts like on my drive home, but
the Joey Diaz episodes.
that guy is nuts, man.
He's nuts, dude. I can't understand him enough to like appreciate him.
Yeah, he's like so all over the map. I'm like, I really don't know where you're going with this.
Yeah. I like it when Joe gets the conspiracy guys on there. That's
Oh
always
yeah,
good.
the alien stuff.
Yeah. Or when he talks to the physics guys. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, those are good. Also want to get a few of those, not like, top physicists, but people studying that. Hear what the common
yeah.
folk have to say about it.
Have you seen any of his stand-ups?
Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah, he came out to Seattle in like 2016 and I thought it fell flat. It was on 420.
Oh,
But I liked his specials on Netflix, the last two ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
He just yells too much.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like,
Like, God, you have a microphone. You don't
Yeah.
have to be that loud.
I know. It's like
But
almost.
no, he is funny.
Yeah, he's funny. His podcast is awesome. His UFC commentary is great.
Oh yeah, him and
I had no idea he was in stand up until like I saw him like posted to do stand up comedy and then him talk about it, how he's been doing it for like 20 or so fucking years.
Yeah, I guess he was doing it before Fear Factor.
Right. He was one of those comedians that like moved to television when that was a thing.
Yeah.
To like Fear Factor and like the Man Show, the worst version of the Man Show.
Yeah.
Did
you see?
Is there anything like the Man Show right now?
Everybody's so politically correct now. They'll never. I don't think that you'll ever see anything like that. I love it. I thought
that shit was so fucking funny.
Now it's seeing like Jimmy Kimmel where he's at now. It's like, whoa.
Yeah. I don't know. That's kind of more inspiration by the Goonery too. Just kind of injecting some of that attitude era that we've lost over the years back into
for sure
society. Like it's okay. It's just comedy.
Yeah.
We all love everybody.
Yeah. Did you see Joe Rogan's interview with Derek Lewis after he won that fight?
I think so, yeah.
He took his pants off. He's like, my balls was hot.
Oh, man, yeah. That's funny. You're still a big UFC guy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Lately I've been kind of irritated with it, though, because I feel like their judging system is garbage. Like, I've watched so many fights recently where I'm like the clear-cut guy that should have won didn't win. And it's just like, dude, I'm not gonna pay for, I'm not gonna pay $65, $70 for a pay-per-view if you're not gonna give me an accurate result in the end.
Yeah. We used to always go to your place and like watch Chuck Liddell versus Tito or Tito versus Ken Shamrock,
Randy Couture,
Randy Couture. Those guys,
glory days.
yeah, they were cool, but then they started getting their ass kicked by like the newer generation.
Yeah.
Getting old too. This new generation though, I've been trying to get into. Like, I mean, John Jones, he's a fucking legend. He's still going. Fuck Conor McGregor, but
I love Conor McGregor.
yeah, he's always like,
I love his attitude.
yeah, he's got a good attitude for shit talking.
But then I like Cowboy Cerrone too, where he's kind of the, he doesn't do any shit talking. He just, this is my, if I lose, I still get paid. Whatever, I'll take any fight.
Yeah, I like what they're doing, like Masvidal. Like,
yeah,
that was a good fight. I want to see Masvidal fight again.
Yeah, me too. I like him a lot.
Khabib, that Russian.
Yeah, he's a monster, man.
Yeah. Would you say? Well, all right. We should rank like all time. Like who's the best in each division?
All right.
Start with heavyweight.
Yeah, those are always. Let's see.
I think Cain Velasquez is the best all time.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I remember like watching UFC like back when it was like almost fucking illegal. Like Tank Abbott, motherfucker looked like he just came out of prison, just went out there and knocked dudes' heads off. Those were the great days, man.
I know. I feel like jiu-jitsu is just such a virus on fighting. Because that's what made like fighting kind of like more of a chess match than like the chaotic like barbaric.
Yeah, there's not too many brawlers anymore.
Yeah, so I don't know. That really deflated the sales on fighting when people learned that they could like, which is cool. But
yeah, because most of the time it wouldn't go to a decision. You'd have a finish in almost every fight.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how it's evolved. I don't know. The heavyweight's been tough. There hasn't really been anyone that's been like super dominant for real long. Fabricio Verdum's got like all the big wins, but he still wouldn't. Yeah.
Brock Lesnar.
Oh, well, he got his ass kicked by Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, I can't. I loved it too. I can't. Yeah, I think he's.
Brock Lesnar sucked.
I hate him in WWE too. Just so fucking boring.
Oh, I know. Well, let's table the WWE thought for a sec. What about light heavyweight? I think that's a no-brainer.
Who would you say?
John Jones, obviously.
Okay, John Jones. I mean, I was always a big fan of Vitor Belfort.
For light heavyweight? Didn't he fight middleweight most of his career?
I thought he was light heavyweight because he fought
Yeah, he fought both middleweight. He fought Anderson Silva.
That's true. You're right.
I mean, when he was like, he was one of the first like, holy fuck kind of guys. Like he had those
or flying. Even shit. We didn't even bring up Andrei Arlovsky. He's still fighting.
Yeah, he's a journeyman.
But Jesus
too many losses Christ. For me to consider him.
Yeah, I mean Frank Mir's a legend.
Yeah, they're all legends.
But yeah, nobody's
best of the best.
Yeah, nobody can stack up to Cain Velasquez though. I mean, he
was just so dominant. He just got hurt. Just injuries. Like otherwise, no one would beat him. Except for Junior Dos Santos that one time. What about middleweight? Who would you give that to?
Middleweight. Nobody really stands out to me.
I'm just gonna John Jones rant while you're thinking about that. Like John Jones beat the who's who of everybody in the light heavyweight division. and never lost except for that one DQ that's bullshit and should be overturned. Just super dominant. No one like him. Just
Yeah, that's true. I guess you can't really argue against that.
you can't. But that was such an entertaining division, like Chuck Liddell and Tito and Chuck and Randy and Chuck and Rampage and Rashad and Lyoto Machoy, Shogun Hua.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was just fireworks until John Jones came along. And middleweight, I would give that to Anderson Silva, no question.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't really there's no argument against that.
It'll be interesting to watch Israel Adonijah's career, but that was such a snoozer. That was a worse snoozer than an Anderson fight from what I hear.
I didn't watch it,
I
but
didn't catch it either. Yeah.
I saw the highlights. It looked pretty boring. But like you were saying, that's just kind of where it's evolved.
Welterweight.
And boxing has done the same thing. Boxing used to be fun to watch, like the old Tyson days. And now
Yeah.
Dude, I'm not trying to stand here and I'm not trying to watch a fight that lasts an hour and a half and like 7 punches get landed the whole fucking fight.
Yeah. Did you watch the Fury Wilder 2?
I did.
Did that do anything for you?
I mean, I like Tyson Fury. I thought it was pretty cool. He whooped the shit out of him. I know there was some content.
Tyson Fury is a star. He's the next, Mike Tyson name. I feel like he put boxing back on the map.
Yeah.
But who's going to challenge him? They got some contenders. That fat Ortiz guy, and another Deontay Wilder who apparently was fatigued by his. That should be good. I don't know. I like a good boxing match, but
Andy Ruiz is pretty good. I like that.
That's guy. What I meant. Yeah, Ruiz.
Yeah. I like that kid.
And there was a guy that beat him, so there's some contenders. Should make boxing interesting for the next couple of years.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, there are a couple guys in there that are more the brawler type than the chess match type.
So here's my take on boxing. It's just like WWE, except people actually think it's real.
Yeah.
I think that's like the most staged fucking.
Oh, for sure.
But no one's in on it.
Yeah.
No, that's kind of ridiculous. We'd be in on it. But, going off on that WWE tangent, you watch that?
Yeah, not as often as I.
It used to be so good.
Yeah.
I think it still should be good, but they just fuck it up so miserably, it looks like, on the internet. That it's like not worth watching.
They're trying to make it way more family friendly.
Yeah.
And, like, if you're talking about a sport that you want us to believe is violent, like, family friendly doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah, family friendly like puts the gay in wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, straight up.
So, yeah, that's kind of like what it's missing, right? Is kind of like that feeling of like, this is real. They took that away. Right. They like castrated wrestling.
Yeah, for real. They made it more of a soap opera.
Yeah, well, that was like what made it good, is like the idea that you could like, build intrigue and entertainment into it.
Well, then the other thing that they do that I really don't like is like, you used to be able to, on any given, like going back to like Monday Night Nitro, Raw, SmackDown, like any given night you could see one of the superstars. And now it's like you really only see like the top people on pay-per-views.
Yeah.
For the most part. I mean, they'll come in and they'll talk and get on the mic, but you rarely see them wrestle on just like a random Thursday night.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I just think they like kind of fuck themselves over by like not adapting to society's like wokeness on wrestling. They kind of
Yeah.
just like kept going like in the direction that they wanted to go in. Um, and they like put themselves into like a rock and a hard place with like they wanted the big guys to be dominant and like, you know, then they kind of missed out on all the like smaller guys that were like really good. And
Yeah.
um you know, it wasn't really believable that, you know, those guys could be top dog. um
Right.
but if they fucking were like, oh, you know, these championships are kind of silly, like why don't we do like weight classes, and
Exactly.
then you like suffer from like, or right now you suffer from like these titles not meaning anything. But if you have
Yeah.
in like, you know, a log jam at the top, you could get so many more. Like you kind of like with the UFC, like any one of those weight classes, like those guys are pretty much equally badasses, like as far as like pound for pound, that whole thing goes.
Right.
So you could get more valuable titles and like more valuable stars that way, because it's more realistic for like, you know, dudes to fight people their own weight class.
Yeah. And they'd be more believable matches too.
Right. Right.
And
But what do I know?
yeah.
What the fuck do I know? Um, and just a little more detail, like, you know, it's just like one dude coming out, like, where's his buddies? You know, like, where's
Yeah.
his, like, where's the doctors? You know, where's, like, yeah, it was like a thing and they never really, like, evolved.
Yeah.
Except for when they did the Attitude Era. They were, that was, like, the only time it really, like, evolved. And then they kind of went back to the status quo after it pushed the envelope a little too much. It was a little too real for, once the baby boomers caught wind.
Yeah. For sure. Oh, and then it's like they have I heard Vince McMahon is just they have just such weird like rules that don't make any sense. Like they literally will fucking ban their wrestlers for smoking weed. Like, come on. They're not they're athletes, but they're not really competing. It's all staged. Like, does it really fucking matter?
Yeah. No, I agree with you. He's kind of a whack job, right? He's like a genius, but he's also a psychopath. You know, just kind of
Yeah,
on
he's
the,
kind of like, this is what I have in my head, and if you don't, you can either agree with me or get the fuck out.
yeah.
His attitude, and that's how he runs his company too. I mean, it's like you see all like a minor disagreement between him and a wrestler, and then the next day it's like, guys, on.
Yeah. Very, it's a big dick swinging contest there, and he always comes
For
out on
sure.
top.
Have you seen any of AEW though?
Yeah. Oh,
Dude,
yeah.
that's actually so. That is kind of what they're kind of trying to do. What the WWE is missing on.
Right.
I feel like they're making an effort to like really try to be what the Attitude Era was. Like, you know, like Cody Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes, like those guys lived through that era, so that you know they knew what the glory days were like.
No, it's perfect. More wrestling is better wrestling.
Yeah,
That's what we
exactly.
learned in the 90s, and we'll revisit that again in this decade of the roaring 20s again. Ripping and tearing. Yeah, they're trying to, you know, be a little more PG-13, kind of a darker, more paying attention to detail vibe, but just still making a lot of the same mistakes as WWE is, and coming up short on as far as like interesting people. And you know, I think they're gonna have an awesome first year, but then, you know, if you're not adding guys that WWE's like letting go, which they aren't, they're just signing everyone and throwing massive amounts of money to like make it hard.
and that's what Vince McMahon does is he offers ludicrous contracts to people just so they don't go somewhere else.
Right.
He's been known to do that throughout the entire,
Yeah. Well,
WWE, WWF, everything.
yeah, I am looking forward to, the day that he goes, not, I hope he doesn't go, but like leaves WWE and like Triple H can take over and kind of, he seems like a guy that'll run a good show. I mean, look what he did
Yeah, I
with
think so too. I
NXT.
don't. I don't feel like he's like, the puppet to Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
I think he really, and well, and it's because Vince McMahon never was a wrestler, so Triple H, I feel like, is going to have that perspective on where the sport should
Yeah.
go.
Well, they're already, they're trying to make like a Cody versus Triple H thing like a couple years down the road when AEW just ends up either selling themselves to WWE or whatever they do. I mean, I think some cool things will be in store. It'll be very reminiscent of, the old Monday Night Wars, but just with newer guys. And they just keep fucking themselves. They can't build a star to like make it entertaining. Every time I
Yeah,
watch, it's just like, what the fuck? Like, it's so stupid.
I know. And then it's like the guys that I like always end up like fizzling out, and they always get put in the back burner. Like
Is
I don't
there
really,
a
like
guy
I don't
you're
really give
referring
a
to?
shit. Yeah, like I really fucking like Bray Wyatt. I love his
I knew you were
whole
gonna
like,
say that. They fucking can't
just like the
pull the trigger
creepy
on
like
him.
southern like
Yeah,
woods hillbilly scary fucking dude.
yeah,
And
they fucked him over. Given
totally.
he was like the best thing to happen to WWE since the Undertaker, and then they decided to just fuck him over.
And then there's just like guys in there that I'm just like, who the fuck thought this like character was a good idea? Like Bray Wyatt's brother is Bo Dallas. I fucking hated that character. Like
Oh yeah,
such a bitch.
yeah,
Please make him stop fucking talking.
he's funny. Believe. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it should be interesting to see, to say the least.
Let me pause for 1 second before I burn my house down real quick.
All right, I'm actually, yeah,